with her life and business partner, Tom, who is an occupational therapist and acupuncturist specializing in vestibular rehabilitation. So, and I will put her contact information and website and where we maybe can get more information on the specifics and nature of her work and also her and Tom's work together. So again, Esther, thank you so much. It's a great honor to be with you. Plus, just what I've seen on Facebook, her energy is fantastic, so uplifting, so inspiring. And so we're just blessed by that. Even if she weren't to say a word to us, it's an honor. So thank you so much. And welcome everyone else who's signing on. Chokubi and Luz, how good to see you. But let's mute ourselves on the Zoom if we haven't already, unless Esther asks otherwise. And I'll pass it to you then. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I guess I don't need to say anything since you just said I don't have to. But since you guys all came and dedicated your evening to a half an hour of connecting together, I will do my best to share some fun, some joy, some interesting information, and hopefully we'll walk away this evening with some lovely tools and just a reminder about how to really respond rather than react and create and sustain a great life. So let's start here. So I am. I wanted to say that first of all, thank you for everything you said. You said everything correctly. So I just want to make sure that that was fine. And if you have any questions, you will always see there in my little box, the eieqinstitute.com, and Maya will put my information in the information, I guess in the chat or whatever it is. I'm sure you'll be able to find me if you need me. So today I would like to take us on a journey through something we have all experienced. How we react, how we become aware, how we reconnect, and how we return to simply being. Because life does not just stop triggering us. What changes in our ability is the ability to recognize what is happening inside us and choose how we want to respond. So let me begin by asking you, have you ever received a text and thought, what exactly did that mean? Anyone? Anyone? Okay. So let me tell you a quick little story about something that just recently happened to Tom and I, since we now live sort of part-time in North Carolina, which is where we ended up. And we live here in Bakersville, which is a lovely little town. If anyone knows of it, it's midway in the mountain. It's called Roan Mountain, and it's a beautiful place. And so Tom and I were hanging out the house one day, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, or in the group text, we receive a group text. And it says something like, I just finished packing the meat, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in the freezer. And the only thing left to do now is eat it. LOL. So Tom and I go, what did that mean? And he's like, I don't know. Maybe, we're both like, maybe this is the way that North Carolinians ask you out to dinner or ask you to over for dinner. So we're both looking at each other like, what do we do? And so what did we do? Of course, we resorted to ChatGPT. Oh, what else would you do? So I asked Chat, hey, is this an invitation to dinner? And so Chat's like, well, in those regions of the world, this is usually an indication of them doing something with the meat and storing it, but it doesn't sound like an actual dinner invitation. So after a few going back and forths with those lovely neighbors, we all had a big chuckle and a big laugh because it was a mistake. And she felt so bad. And she had promised to invite us over for dinner, definitely before we left again for Florida. So, just to say that how often is it that we have these situations where we misread the text or the communication, or we just don't understand, right, what's happening? Now, in this situation, it was funny, but how often do we have situations where it's not a funny situation, right? So let's continue from there. So those little misunderstandings show us something very human. We do not respond only to what happens. We often respond to what we think it means. And that is really what I mean when I talk about level of crazy. And so when I talk about all these different crazies, like the reactive crazy, I am not diagnosing anyone. I'm simply talking about the universal human patterns we all carry. Our assumptions, our fears, our habits, our histories, expectations, and emotional triggers. Our reactive crazy is what happens when we immediately assume, defend, withdraw, worry, criticize, overthink, or respond before we truly understand what is happening. The proactive crazy is when we pause and we ask, what else could this mean? What is happening inside of me? How do I want to respond? And so, as Maya mentioned earlier, my motto is let us use our crazy instead of becoming victims of it. So, sometimes our reactions create small misunderstandings, like a confusing text. Other times, life gives us something much bigger: a storm, an illness, grief, uncertainty, loss. And strangely enough, those difficult moments can bring out something in us that is very beautiful. For example, the hardships of Helene and the different hurricanes and community. One of the things that has deeply touched me here is seeing how people came together after the Hurricane Helene. When life became difficult, some suddenly they all remembered that they needed each other. But in this area, actually, they seem to be doing that regardless. There's a different kind of vibe in this region of the world, and they're always just supporting each other regardless, but especially during the storm, we heard amazing stories about what was really going on. Now, is it perfect? No, because humans, like I say, level of crazy, we all have a level of crazy, and there were some good and bad. But for the most part, it was very fascinating to hear the stories of coming together. I remember hurricanes in Florida when the electricity went out and everyone came outside. We shared food, we checked on neighbors, we talked, we laughed, we really helped one another. And then the lights went back on, and we all disappeared back into our houses. Sometimes it takes the lights going out for us to see one another. What I noticed after the hurricane in Florida, and what I have seen here after Helene, is that hardships remind us to come outside and check on one another and be human together. But once the emergency passes, we often return to our homes, to our screens, to our schedules, to our independent lives. That makes me wonder, are we actually being, or are we mostly doing? So being versus doing. Zoom is actually a perfect example. It allows us to connect across distance, which is wonderful because it can also keep us, or excuse me, but it can also keep us inside these little boxes, literally and emotionally. Even in my Italian class, I'm taking an Italian class right now because Tom, my partner, we make fun because some of us in the class are taking Italian for love, we say. And so for me, I started taking Italian for love, but I've actually really started to enjoy the process. And even in my class, which is on Zoom, we are given a 10-minute break. And you might imagine that we would stay and talk, but instead, everyone turns off their camera, handles another task, returns, and gets right back to work. Are we living or are we simply competing to finish another task? Technology is not bad. Zoom allows us to be together tonight. The challenge is remembering that connection requires more than just being logged in. So I have a little reflection assignment for you. It's a little exercise. Are you guys up for it? Okay. So I want to ask you the following question. And I want you to just take a minute and just go ahead and ask yourself, where in my life am I moving so quickly from one task to another that I am missing the people, the moment, or even myself? I'll repeat it one more time. Where in my life am I moving so quickly from one task to another that I am missing the people, the moment, or even myself? The goal is not to stop doing. We all have responsibilities. The goal is to become aware enough that our doing does not completely disconnect us from our being. That is where emotional intelligence becomes practical. And that is where I use what I call the ASS protocol. The first step is awareness. What am I feeling, assuming, or reacting to? Once I notice what is happening inside of me, I can move into strategy. How do I want to respond? What response would create more understanding, connection, or peace? And then comes serenity. What do I need to release, accept, forgive, or surrender? Because even after we make the best choices, we can still, there are things that we still, excuse me, there are still things we cannot control. We cannot control every text, every storm, every relationship, every loss, or every unexpected invitation to dinner. But we can become aware of what is happening inside of us and choose what we bring into the moment. And so rather than only talking about awareness, peace, and presence, I thought that we could take a few minutes to actually experience this together. So I invite you to get comfortable, and we're going to move into a short meditation. So just go ahead and relax, sit comfortably, If it feels right, gently close your eyes or soften your gaze and take a slow breath in and gently breathe out. And for the next few moments, there is nothing you need to accomplish and nothing you need to fix. Gently bring your thumb to each fingertip one at a time. So I will walk you through it. And we're going to repeat a mantra with each fingertip we touch. So, thumb to the index finger, I want you to repeat, I am here.
I am here. Oh, look at how loud that is.
Thumb to the middle finger, I am safe in this moment. Thumb to the ring finger, I choose peace. Thumb to the little finger, I am connected. And let's continue to do that for the next few minutes, and I will repeat the mantras as so. Thumb to index finger, I am here. Thumb to the middle finger, I am safe in this moment. Thumb to the ring finger, I choose peace. Thumb to the little finger, I am connected. Again, thumb to the index finger, I am here. Thumb to the ring finger, I am here and safe in this moment. Thumb to the ring finger, I choose peace. And thumb to the little finger, I am connected. Feel free to do that one more time as we sit quietly. Now allow your hands to rest. Notice your breath. Notice your body. Notice this moment. And beneath all of our different beliefs, roles, histories, fears, and responsibility, we share the same core human condition. We want to be seen. We want to be understood. We want to feel safe. We want to feel love, and we want to be loved. Take one slow breath in and a gentle breath out. And when you're ready, slowly open your eyes and return your attention to the screen. So as you return, notice what it feels like to pause long enough to remember our shared humanity. Life will always continue to surprise us, challenge us, occasionally send us very confusing text messages. But perhaps the goal is not to eliminate our crazy. Perhaps the work is to recognize it, manage it, laugh at it, learn from it, and use it to become more compassionate human beings. I have truly enjoyed being with all of you here today. May we continue to move from reactive to responding, from isolation to connection, and from constantly doing to remembering how to be. I ask you to join me on the 1 million books worldwide movement so that we can all learn to start creating and sustaining our best crazy life, not just as individuals, but as a society and as one human family. And I want to just thank you all for your time, for your attention. I want to give gratitude to Ted for, Ted and I are connected through temple.org and now through the interfaith community, and I'm so grateful. And Chris as well. And now we're connected with Maya. So I really want to bless you guys and really want to give gratitude for allowing me to come and share my level of crazy. And so that's it for me. I'm so grateful and I'm so blessed to have met all of you, and maybe we can meet in person one day. And yeah, so that's it. That's a wrap.
Thank you so much, Esther. Really beautiful and a wonderful meditative process there with in that more still place and then that reflection and the words at that point. And how beautiful. So thank you. Yeah, every part of your information was really touching and so meaningful and so poignant too about where we are and how this going back into our homes and we come out and then we forget and what really is important is we become better human beings and thank you, really lovely. Any comments or questions for Esther before I go to some announcements? Ted.
Sure, it's great to share this space with you, Esther and Tom, and see familiar spaces. And you've been with us in the past. I think you spoke at one of our events for National Day of Prayer a few years ago and shared your background, coming from Ukraine and so forth. But the question that I had, and I've been intrigued by your book titles and the way you, present your material and talking about crazy. And it seems like there are a couple different aspects I'd like you to comment on that. One is like the courage to go ahead and try something. Oh, that's crazy to do that. But, rather than sitting in one place and not, you know, going off in a new direction, to try something that other people or maybe even we ourselves think is crazy. And the other is, each of us has our idiosyncrasies that other people don't get and being okay with just being who we are. So between those two and maybe some other senses of what you mean by crazy.
Yeah, so it's a very good question. So I'll give you an example. So today, uh, we, like I said, we're here in this new community, and there's a community center down the street, and we found it right away, which was such a blessing. And I found out that they have a hiking club. Well, I am not a hiker. I am a Jewish princess. I learned today. And I went on this hike with Tom, and it's a moderate hike. They call it moderate. You know what that means, right? And I was this close to turning back around, but couldn't because, you're halfway up the mountain now. So what are you going to do, right? And so the level of crazy was okay, learning the different strategies of how to maneuver myself to keep going up this mountain. And I had an angel that was sent to me that was part of the group, which they call in hiking land the sweeper. It's the person who stays in the back, right? With everyone, the slow people, basically. And because of him and his patience, I was able to just, keep going. But it was also, I had to create my own strategies, like not looking up ahead because it looks so high and just impossible for me to continue. And so these ways of finding strategy to move forward in life in these particular situations that we get ourselves into for love. And so, or whatever reason we do it, right? And so that's another component of level of crazy is really being able to constantly create strategies that are moving you forward in the creating and sustaining a great life. Because remember, creating takes one set of muscles and sustaining takes a whole other set of muscles. And so that is what I've constant been now learning. And that's why the title of the talk was what I wish I knew then, what I know now, is that these are two separate gigs. These are two separate, learnings and skills and things that you have to learn, create, and sustain. And so that's part of this level of crazy concept that, the, we all have it. Everyone probably who's not an avid hiker could want to like turn right back around and be like, this is nuts. I'm not doing this. But to be able to create a strategy to keep going. And even the guy that was with me was like, wow, that's a great strategy. Keep doing that. Keep doing that. So, yeah, I hope that answers your question. Okay.
Excellent. Any other comments or questions? Wonderful explanation. Thank you, and for sharing that. And yeah, a lot of us are right there with you on that hikes.
Yes, we are, because she comes from Florida, a very flat state. And I
Hmm.
said, I'm exactly the same place because I'm now in New Hampshire. And when I do the senior hikes here, they might call them senior hikes. Not so sure of that. Yeah.
Even the organizer today, when we finally got up to the falls, he says, oh, I called it moderate, but it's a lot harder than I expected.
You know,
I was like, really? You think? I knew that. I knew. I was like, there's no way. They never label it the right one.
That's funny. But look at the wonderful story, inspiration, and teaching that we all benefit by it. So that's
Yes.
great.
Yes. So
Yeah.
it wasn't in vain.
Yeah. And like words too, like you started off as you were telling us tonight about the text that came and what does that mean? And yeah, so, but that's great. Thank you. And so wonderful. Anyone else, anything as we finish tonight? All right. Well, thank you. I think you've just touched us with so much joy. Again, your energy is so brilliant and buoyant and so appreciated. And of course, your words. Please check out Esther's book and also the work that she and Tom are doing. And we'll stay in touch for sure as the interfaith continues the different events that we have. And as Ted mentioned, of course, we'd had you at that previous event at St. Andrews. So thank you for that too. So, upcoming here for our gem meditation this month. Of course, tonight, thank you. We're very blessed here. And then next week, we have Ted Brownstein. He's talking on breath and heart meditation. So, it's always great when Ted is leading us. The following week, I'm speaking on a drop in the ocean, understanding and practicing oneness and transcending duality from the Buddhist perspective. The last Wednesday of the month, we have Prem Shakti, the gift of presence, more being and less doing, which I think is a good theme that we all need to see as we're encountering tonight and the continuation of that as a practice. So good. As far as other events coming up, we're looking at in September, Sukkot, on a Sunday evening. I believe that's the 20th. I'm going to look at the calendar real quick. I'm sorry, I don't have my calendar in front of me here. That would be September 20th at St. Andrews, and please come for that. It was a wonderful event, a lot of joy, some great speakers, sharing of a sacred food and meal, and it's very beautiful. And then we also have on International Day of Prayer, and I'll need to look to Ted for this date if there's one, the understanding that in collaboration with Abrahamic Reunion, Lake Worth Interfaith Network was going to collaborate on an online honoring and acknowledgement of International Day of Peace. Ted, can you tell us more about that, when it is and what time?
Right. Well, Abrahamic Reunion has started the solstice and equinox commemoration 4 times a year. And we've held some of those ourselves, especially the winter solstice that they inspired as an enacting peace event with, and they put on a great Zoom international program with speakers from all over the world, and some of them are just, it's like being at the World Parliament where we had, so many names that we've, heard in different places speaking. So they pretty much have that in hand, and we're just going to help them to publicize that. But it's usually for an hour and a half or 2 hours. The date is right around the fall equinox. I'm looking to make sure I don't say the wrong one, but stay tuned anyway. It'll be around September 20th or 21st.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Yeah, we'll keep our eye on that, and it should be in our next newsletter as well. So thank you. And then we're looking forward to some other events as we get closer to season. Thanksgiving service, as Ted mentioned, the winter solstice, and of course some other things coming. So thank you. That's just great. Anything else, Ted or Luz, that we should announce that I haven't thought to say?
Well, I did put in the chat about the Interfaith Network coming up. So a whole week of events and things. I put the link in. I hope some of you can make it and enjoy that wonderful uh, gathering of people. So you can see the link there, and and come and enjoy the celebration of our interfaith consciousness.
Yay. Thank you for that, Jeffrey. It's always great to see you and everyone else too. And again, thank you so much, Esther, just for a fantastic evening tonight. What a treat for us. I do hope you'll think to come back again. I think this was just very great, highly inspiring. And again, everyone, thank you for being together. And it's something really quite nice that we have these Wednesdays. So thank you.
I loved it because I'm still crazy after all these years. I love that song. And it's a good thing.
Oh yeah, I'm crazy too. Yes, it's definitely a good thing. And I think you've been doing it longer, Maya, than you thought, because when I moved to Florida, it was, I don't know, 9 years ago, 8 years ago.
My
We're the
goodness.
first group I found, and we were doing these live.
Wow.
It was a
Oh,
long
very
time
good. Well, I'm so glad that we found you and you found us,
ago.
because
Thank you.
Rhonda, you're at the heart of all that we do. So thank you. Yeah, crazy after all these years. And now we have permission. We've got Esther's permission. So,
That's right.
Yes.
Keep it up. Keep it up.
all right.
Yes, ma'am.
Blessings,
Thank
everyone.
you. God
Bye.
bless.
Thank you. Have
Night.
a great evening. Thank you
Thank you.
again. Namaste.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.